Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 1 of the anime series Sakura Quest. And this was somewhat charming, somewhat lighthearted, but really slow-paced of the first episode. I laughed out loud 3 times. There were 3 events that really captivated me, made me laugh, made me snort and chuckle, everything like that. A lot of this was just sort of setting up what the prospect of the series was going to be. This being, this girl, Koharu, she is trying to seek employment in Tokyo. She is a big city girl. She doesn't like the countryside, which conforms back to her humble origins. That's the home she grew up in and doesn't want to go back to. And she had taken a modeling job at one point and everything like that. And so she's really struggling to, because her mother or whatever is going to stop her stipend to keep her in college or in school, whatever it is. She's really facing having to potentially go back home. And that's the last thing in the world she wants. So she's going on job interview after job interview. She's had like 30 of them. She keeps getting, sent packing. When finally she gets this call from this modeling studio that hired her for this previous job, this one-time only thing, they give her the impression it's another one-time only type of thing. She's got to go to this small town and pretend to be the queen, whatever that means, and she can earn some money and she'll be able to stay in Tokyo and everything like that. They don't really give her all of the information. So she, reluctantly though it may be, goes to this little country bumpkin-esque kind of town, very much like her hometown, and she's not really sure what the hell is even going on. Turns out there was a mix-up. This guy, Ushimatsu, this old man who's pretty funny, I gotta admit, he's one of the standout characters, and one of the ones actually subsequently that led me to have a gut-busting laugh. He had gotten it wrong. He had wanted to hire for this position this old sort of pinup model he knew from his youth or idolized in his youth, and the woman has since died like years previous, and he didn't even know about it. And so one of his underlings had written down, I guess, the kanji or whatever it was, to sort of smarmy so that it looked like Koharu, and this led the modeling agency to get it wrong and send the wrong girl, a much younger girl, our main character. And so she wants out of Dodge. She's like, F this. This is a country bumpkin town. This is much like my home. This is not what I want. I want to live in Tokyo. I want to stay in Tokyo. She reluctantly agrees for the time being to go along with this sort of, conducted ceremony of becoming the queen of the town and everything that Ushimatsu set up. And she's befriended instantly by sort of his secretary or something like that in the traveling bureau, the local little house where they're trying to get tourism back up in this area, which it's said by Ushimatsu was once bustling ages ago. This girl Shiori, and she becomes fast friends with Koharu, just trying to make her comfortable and everything like that. And but it's not working, man. She's like, get me out of here. It's like Green Acres. She's very much the wife who wants out of Dodge. Of course, she doesn't have a husband or anything like that. But they go through this ceremony where they crown her, and they put on this big event where Ushimatsu's, coming out talking about being the swordsman who took down, I think it's the town that is named Chupacabra. This is the creature that he insists he actually encountered in his youth for real. But he's playing the character of this swordsman who took down this creature or whatever like that, and they have to appoint a new queen to keep him away. Whatever it is, I don't exactly remember all the ins and outs of this fictional story they're telling. But Koharu, she calls back to a memory in her childhood, a dream or whatever it is. Again, one of those scenarios where it's coincidental that she happens to have this dream before this job unfolds for her, where she's a child and she's being crowned. And you're kind of like, oh, well, that's a convenient, coincidence. Now she has a job where she's basically having that same thing occur and everything, but she desperately wants the hell out, and she's trying to get on the bus back to the train station, and the bus is not going that way. It's too late in the day, and there's a weird guy on the bus who's like strumming a guitar. He's very artist-esque, talking about, I don't know, like there's a face on the bus, and what if the bus is looking this way or that? It completely confused me, but I was very much in the place of Koharu at that moment where she's just like, now I'm getting off the bus, and she just sort of backpedals, because this guy is completely strange. But the town, they all know each other, so the bus driver pulls off to the side of the road. He's like calling Ushimatsu, hey, that girl that you appointed the queen and everything, she's trying to get out. She's trying to leave. And so he, in the middle of the night, calls Shiori, and they get this, sword in the stone thing. They're looking for the queen to be the successor to the swordsman who killed the Chupacabra. And they put it out in the middle of the sidewalk or the road where, Koharu is running, trying to get back to the train station. And it's assumed because then Ushimatsu, this is where I started cracking up, Ushimatsu dons this very poor sort of Halloween costume, Chupacabra, attire, and he's pretending to be the Chupacabra going after Shiori, and they're trying to, insist or implore Koharu to grab the sword and fight the creature and become the queen, have fun with the whole scenario. Maybe this will win her over and want to make her stay. And it's, she goes over with her luggage and smacks him upside the head and sends him to the freaking ground. And I just busted out laughing. In between all of which, she met this woman on the train coming into town, Maki, who is best girl in the episode. It turns out when they give her lodgings, Koharu, she inadvertently finds that Maki, she's like going to be running the place or whatever, and I assume she's new in town as well. She doesn't seem at all familiar with exactly everything about the job, the employment, but she does seem familiar with aspects of the town, and she's kind of like, so are you staying? Are you going? The wordplay between them is hilarious. I love Maki's personality, and she's really sort of take no crap and everything like that. And so you decided to stay, you're a normal girl, you're not a normal girl, all that dialogue. I'm not going to go through it line by line, but it cracked me up. I thought it was hilarious. And so it all sort of culminates with Koharu reluctantly deciding, okay, well, I'm stuck here at least for the time being. I'm going to stay overnight. She gets locked out of the lodgings that Maki is asleep in her sleeping bag, and she can't hear anything. So Koharu goes back to the building where they held the ceremony, which the whole building is made to look like a giant Chupacabra-esque creature, or like the building itself is being swallowed up and attacked by one. And she's looking at the crown and the cape she has to wear that she wore during the ceremony. And she's looking at all these photographs of previous events. And it turns out that dream she had in her childhood was true. It was a real thing. She was like the 1000th or 100th visitor, whatever it was. I don't remember. But there is a picture of her as a child being crowned, very much as she now is in this employment. Unfortunately, she was not made aware of the fact that this was expected to go for at least a year, not a one-day event. And this is very much what scared her out of her gourd and made her want to get the hell out of Dodge, go back to the city and everything like that, thinking she would just, make enough money to stay in Tokyo, to keep her apartment, to stay in school, whatever. And, it kind of becomes really sweet. Like a lot of the setup, I was just sort of, it felt like going through the motions, between the introduction of Maki and Ushimatsu and Shiori teaming up together to try to convince Koharu that she could, be the swordsmith, the successor to which, would take down the Chupacabra, all this kind of stuff. Those events stood out to me and really were charming and made me laugh and entertained me. The rest of it was just kind of meh. I was watching it and not very impressed with it. I was kind of bored, if I'm honest. And so it is likely not going to be a series that I will review at all. I doubt I will be compelled to after every episode. And that also extends to the idea that I don't know for sure if I'm going to even stick with watching it. I'm going to probably watch the second and third episode and see how it goes, see if it picks up at all, if it becomes more entertaining, more throughout the episodes, rather than just having those cherry-picked funny and entertaining moments. But it was definitely something I wanted to talk about. Somebody had actually mentioned having interest in it in my spring 2017 upcoming anime, interests video. And I was somewhat curious about it, and I'm glad I sat through it, if for nothing else than to see that there were entertaining moments about it, funny moments within it. but by and large, it just, you know, it's going to have to keep that up a lot more, be more aggressive with those kinds of moments if it's going to keep my attention. But yeah, I wanted to put it out there, you know, see how you guys out there are faring as well, as far as how you felt about the first episode of Sakura Quest. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. You know, anything goes, love it or hate it, even if our POVs happen to disagree. Just love having that conversation. And yeah, otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.